there. Just wanted to talk this week about the overwhelm that comes with marketing our business online. We all feel it. If you are feeling overwhelmed, don't think you're the only one, because you're not. We all are feeling overwhelmed. And the reality is, I mean, there's so many people who make it look like it's so easy, but it's not, and we know that. And then there are, people we follow who have like a team of people who can make all this stuff happen for them. And so then we sit there and we say, well, I don't have the luxury of that. So that's, we kind of use it as an excuse not to move forward, because when we compare ourselves with people who are at another level than we are, and we say, well, they have this, so they can do that. I don't have that, so I can't do that. We have to stop that. We have to stop the comparison. We have to stop thinking that just because we don't have what someone else has, that we can't make something happen. Those people who are at that level that you want to be at, they were where you are now. And they had to make it work. They had to make it happen, right? So how do you do that? The key is to have, and this is where, this is where it can be hard with working for yourself, because now it's like, okay, I'm responsible for getting this stuff done. I'm responsible for making sure I get this stuff done. There's nobody looking over my shoulder making sure I get this stuff done. Okay, so how do you do that? Well, first of all, you have to be self-disciplined, and let me tell you also that I struggle with this stuff too. I want to be going live every day on Facebook, and I have yet to manage to be able to do that myself. So don't think that this is me preaching to you and not preaching to myself too, okay? I'm getting a little better at it. I'm getting better at emailing weekly. I'm getting better at blogging regularly. And I'm already looking at increasing that, because I'm getting better at doing it consistently. And once you can get better at doing it consistently, you can look at doing more of it, because you've gotten into a groove, so to speak, right? And where that comes from, it comes from A, self-discipline, B, a schedule. But the schedule and self-discipline go together, because you have to follow that schedule. You have to, like, let's say Monday, you're going to write content. Well, what if something comes up? Then it's like, oh, well, that'll just have to wait. I can't do that then. There are always going to be things that come up, and there are always going to be things that are vying for our attention, whether it's our business, our family, things in our lives, right? So I was actually watching a live of someone that I follow. You may be familiar with him. His name is Donald Miller, and he runs the business called StoryBrand. Excuse me. And it's about marketing your business. So he helps people with marketing their business, okay? But so I was watching this live video the other day that he did, and he was talking about how he had this day set where he was going to sit and write and just do some writing. And, and he was dealing with the same stuff we all deal with, like, okay, I really, I'm not motivated to do this. What's going to motivate me to do this? So he said, oh, okay, I'm going to pack up and I'm going to go to a Waffle House. I'm going to have some waffles, and I'm going to sit there with my laptop and I'm going to write. And as he's leaving his house he's getting in his car with his bag, with his laptop. Well, I'll even put a link to the live video so that you can watch it and hear the story, because I'm probably not telling it exactly right. But the gist of it is, when he was getting into his car, somehow he slipped, or his bag fell, his laptop fell out of his bag, and it cracked his screen. And I mean, that happens to us, and guess what? We're ready to throw in the towel, right? Like, well, there goes my whole day now, because my laptop is cracked, you know. And for some of us that might be the case. But he did, you know, he had another computer to use, which hopefully all of us have a backup computer because we need to be prepared for things like that might happen. But he still got some writing done that day. And that was the point. Like, he wasn't going to allow this stuff to derail him from doing what he needed to do that day. And that's the attitude we all need to have, is that, okay, this is the day I have set to do this stuff. And I'm going to do it. No matter what comes my way, I'm going to get it done. Now, obviously, there are some exceptions to that rule. But this is part of being a business owner, because there's always things that are going to come up. There are always other things we could be doing, right? But it's about being intentional and setting that time that, okay, today's the day I'm going to write what I want to talk about this week, you know, and you know, these are just merely examples. What you might do is take some time to plan out like 6 months worth of content. To me, that sounds overwhelming. I don't know that I want to do that. I don't like doing it that way, but there are other people who work well that way. So that's also the key. Find what works for you. If that's what works for you, is to sit down and plan out 6 months or maybe even a year's worth of content, then by all means, go ahead and do that. Make sure you have a spreadsheet, you know, this month, you know, is going to be all about this. And then you break it down with, okay, week 1, we're going to then talk about this. And week 2, we're going to talk about that. And week 3, we're going to talk about that. You know, you can be that detailed, and there's nothing wrong with it. And that helps you, then go ahead and do that. If not, if maybe just planning out a month ahead is what works for you, then do that too. You know, I mean, do what works for you. But the point is the point of this talk here today is that we all deal with this stuff. We all get overwhelmed with everything that goes with running a business. But if we're ever going to get to a point where we can have a team of people who do this stuff for us, we have to be consistent and hold ourselves accountable for doing this stuff ourselves until we can get to that point, okay? And I promise you, if you consistently market yourself, you're consistently blogging, you're consistently going live, you're consistently marketing yourself on social media, you will reap the benefits, okay? But set that time on your calendar and stick to it. And also don't overwhelm yourself. Like I said, like I really want to go live every day on Facebook, and not just Facebook, but the other platforms as well. To you, that might be overwhelming, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be every day. That's just something I'm putting on myself. Okay, so don't think that you have to put that on yourself. Optimally, going live every day, yes, is going to help you. But if that is too much for you, then you say, okay, I can only manage to go live 3 times a week, or 2 times a week, or once a week. And you start there, and then you work your way towards doing more. So anyway, that's it. I hope that this, has been kind of like a pep talk. Like I said, I'm not trying to preach at you, because this is stuff I battle with myself. So I'm kind of preaching to myself right now too. But I promise you, if you put those systems in place and set that time on your calendar and actually hold yourself accountable and do the stuff that you need to do to create your presence online and to create a consistent presence online, you will reap the benefits of that. The other thing I just want to add is, you know what? You could have an accountability partner. Maybe you take one day out of the week and you have an accountability partner, and maybe the two of you get on Zoom, and this is what you do, where, it's like I sit down and I plan out our posts, and you're working together, you're on Zoom, and you can ask each other questions. You know what I mean? It's like there are ways to make it happen for you, and you need to just do whatever it takes that's going to work for you. So anyway, all of that leading into say, I don't know if you have seen my new program that I have released.